Oh, that's so stupid. Sitting down to read a book. Chapter 1. Nope. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie, and today I'm here to talk about all of the books that I DNF'd this year. I am a big supporter of DNFing books. I feel like if it's not bringing you joy and you know you can move on to something bigger and better, why suffer? I know some people are hardcore do not DNF, and that's cool for you. For 2024, I only had 8 books I DNF, and I feel like that's not that bad. So, not that I'm like constantly DNFing books. If I'm not liking it, trash, straight to jail. No ma'am. So, let's talk about the books that I planned to read and then ended up like giving up on. 27 Minutes by Ashley Tate was one of those like never heard of the author, never heard of this book, asked for it on NetGalley, was declined by NetGalley, still really wanted to read it. And so I went out, purchased it at Barnes & Noble at full price, and I DNF'd it. So, this one says, for the last 10 years, a small claustrophobic town of West Wilmer has been struggling to understand one thing. Why did it take Grant Dean 27 minutes to call for help on the fatal night of the car accident that took the life of his beloved sister, Phoebe? Someone knows what really happened that night. Someone who is ready to tell the truth. With Phoebe's memorial in just 3 days, grief, delusion, and ambition and regret tornado together with biting gossip in a town full of people obsessed with a long-gone tragedy with 4 people at its heart: the caretaker, the secret girlfriend, the missing bad boy, and the former football star. So I actually am really happy that I did something, because I actually left a review, but not like I didn't rate the book. I literally put where I DNF'd and why I DNF'd, so I'm going to read that. DNF'd around the 150 page mark. I really wanted to like the story, and I think it had great potential, but I feel like it mostly focused on the characters and their struggles and not enough on the plot. I think the writing style is great, but again, I just wish there was more plot to the story. Reading that synopsis, I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds so freaking good. Let's get to it. But I feel like the characters, like, yeah, like we should care about the characters. However, like it was caring about the characters, like other struggles that had nothing to do with what happened 10 years ago. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, I'm so sorry that you're like financially struggling, for example. But what does that have to do with someone dying 10 years ago? You know what I mean? Like it just, I was just like, maybe this will all connect, but I don't have time for that. Gotta go. A Step Past Darkness. This is one that sounded so intriguing just based on that synopsis, but I didn't like it very much. So it was like boring. This one says, 6 classmates, one terrifying night, a murder 20 years in the making. There's something sinister under the surface of the idyllic suburban town of Wesley Falls, and it's not just the abandoned coal mine that lies underneath it. So I thought, again, short synopsis that I'm going to read, but I thought that sounded really cool, kind of like, I definitely wanted that small town vibe. I thought the whole coal mining sounded really, really interesting. However, I also left another review. This one says, DNFing at 50 pages. I'm not sure, but for some reason this book just seems off to me. I wasn't expecting this book to have a slight supernatural element to it, but I just couldn't get into the writing or the story. Might pick it up, might not. So, I also remember being like, you know, that supernatural element, I don't even know if it's a real supernatural, like honestly I don't even remember what it was or why I was thinking it had a slight supernatural element, but like even with that added to it, it was boring. So I DNF'd at 50 pages. Kill for Me, Kill for You by Stephen Kavanaugh. I do remember this one because I was actually sent an ARC to me from the publisher, so thank you so much for sending it to me. Sorry I didn't read it. However, I know a lot of people loved this one, but I DNF'd it pretty early on. I can't remember exactly what page it was, but I must have just been in like a mood because I was like, man, this sounds like a man wrote this book about women. And just that vibe to me was just giving me a little bit of an ick. Honestly, if I were to pick up another book from my list, Kill for Me, Kill for You is probably the top contender of ones I would actually give another shot, because I think I just DNF'd it at that time. And I don't really know exactly why or what was happening that was giving me that mood. So, if you're reading this by Kirsten Modglin, okay, love K-Mod, love her dearly. However, this one gave me such a raging ick to it. I don't know where, I want to say I got into like a third of the book. I was just like, absolutely freaking not. I went into this book expecting one thing. I know it's about a woman who just recently lost her husband, and to, I guess, like part of the grieving process, she goes on a trip with her 3 friends to kind of like, you know, grieve that process. I did not realize she was going on this trip with 3 other men. I just thought it was going to be a girls trip, but thought wrong. I think I got to the part where they arrive there and all 3 of the guys are arguing, because it's 4 of them, 3-bedroom place, and they're all arguing over which room she's going to share and with who. But they're all friends. But I'm just like, okay, so you mean to tell me that 2 guys can't share a bed together and she can have the room because her husband died, or one of you can take the couch or rotate, but you're all arguing over which bed? Like, they're all arguing, saying, no, she's going to sleep in the bed with me, no, she's going to sleep in my room. Be so effing for real right now, okay? Like, no, we don't like that. Shut straight to jail trash. No. Bad tourist. I had really high hopes for this one. I loved that it was tropical setting because I read it during the summer, or I tried to read it during the summer, and it just sounded so good. However, the amount of care that I had for these women, poof, out the door. Absolutely not. I was just so bored and didn't care, and it was also like rich people drama. So yeah, I didn't really like it. I think the people who were also reading it at the same time as me also didn't really care for it. So, oh my gosh, this is one I was kind of regretting like talking about. Saint X. Not only did I get this book one time, but I got it a second time. Yeah, so I remember getting this last year because Hulu came out with a Hulu series. It looked really good. I was like, ooh, I should read the book before the show came out. So when I was visiting Gwen, I found the book. I picked it up. I think she also picked it up on this trip as well. But the copy that I got was in like not really good condition. And so the next time I went and visited Gwen, I found a paperback version in like pristine condition. So I was like, okay, I'll just take that and I'll get rid of the hardback whenever I get a chance. Gwen and I were actually going to plan on like kind of buddy reading it together, and she read it I think right before me. Like, I think I was trying to finish a book and she went ahead and started it, and she said she was DNFing it after the first chapter, and I was like, what? So she explained why, and I was like, well, I'm still going to form my own opinion. No, girl, homegirl was right. No, I don't like it. I can tell by the first chapter the writing style is not for me, and for that it can go back to the book exchange and someone else can buy it and experience it. I think we have come to a point where the books by B.A. Paris for the foreseeable future are going to be immediate no's for me. I picked up The Guest by B.A. Paris while I was in Vegas, and it's really funny because after I purchased it, I think we were in our Vegas room with me and the Fab Five, and we were like talking about the books, and Jordan's like, oh, I actually just gave that book 1 star, and I was like, oh, love that for me. So I tried to read it, read the first chapter, I was like, I'm not gonna like this. Pushed through for another like 5 chapters. I was like, no, I'm tired of reading synopsises and then the book's just being like absolutely nothing what I was expecting it to be. And so it's just very frustrating, especially because I bought that full price at Barnes & Noble in Vegas and had to travel with it. So yeah, I feel like BA Paris is just that one-hit wonder for me. So unfortunately, no more. And the last book that I'm going to talk about that I DNF'd for the year is The Passengers by John Mars. Now hear me out. I was reading this during a huge readathon that I was hosting, which was Survive the Night, and I was so enjoying this book, but after like the first 100 pages, it kind of just started to like fall a little flat. I also am not a huge fan of books that have so many characters, which is another reason why I DNF'd The One by John Mars, which I know people love that book, but I am still interested in The Passengers. This is another one that I may consider picking back up, but not like immediately at this time. So I did really enjoy it. Like, it's just, I don't know, it was like I was like, yeah, I'm loving this, oh my gosh, this is so good. And then like right around the 100-page mark, I was like, okay, what's happening? Like, no. Alright guys, that is all of the books that I have DNF'd this year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have been enjoying the Bookmas videos. It's been so much fun to keep up with this project. It's so much fun. I'm having a blast. Before we end the video, make sure you give this video a huge thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I upload. Also, if you want to support me a little bit more, my Patreon is always linked down below in the description. You can watch my videos at least a full day early, but also get bonus content for like Sleep When I'm Dead, extra reading sprints, readathons, movie nights, buddy reads. We have it all over there. Hope you guys will join us. And with that, that is all I have to say. Hope you guys are all doing well, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.